Hi, everybody, and welcome back. My name is Melissa, and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. Today's tip is actually, it seems really early, but start thinking about Christmas, and here is why. A lot of people go overboard on Christmas. Christmas and Halloween are the two most expensive holidays, the two holidays that have the highest spending. So I'm seeing all this Halloween stuff out, and Christmas is starting to come out. So start thinking about it now and start talking to your family and friends. If you haven't already established a routine that is more affordable, then establish it now. You can do no gifts. My sister actually came up with the cutest. Well, I don't know if she came up with it or if she read it somewhere, but she came up with an idea that everybody buys their own gift and wraps it, and then we tell each other why we bought that and what it means to us and why it's important to us. So last year, mine hadn't come yet, but I just told them I'd ordered the seeds and everything for my garden. And then we get the kids each a gift, and that's it. So that's what we did. Then you could also do, we're not going to do gifts. You could do homemade gifts or handmade gifts. You could do thrifted gifts or secondhand gifts. Or you could do, so one thing my grandma and her friends used to do, and I thought that this was really cool, is they would have a get together. And everybody would bring a couple of different plates. They would bring a plate or two of cookies or a cookie style bar, and they all would bring different ones. And then they would also bring a empty plate. And then they would have piles and piles. So for example, maybe I would bake spritz and lemon bars, and maybe you would bake chocolate chip cookies and snickerdoodles, and maybe they would bake I don't know why I can't think of any Christmas cookies right now. I don't know, the cookie cutter cookies, where you'd frost them and sprinkle them, and I don't know, the little Polish cookies where it's folded over and it's got jelly in it. But they would all bring different cookies, thumbprint cookies and all sorts of things. And so then they would go with their plate, and then, and it would be a few hour lunch. I think it got hosted at different people's houses throughout the years. I don't know if one person always had it. Sorry. Or if they rotated. But I know they kind of rotated in different things at each other's houses, and these people had been friends for years. They knew each other from high school, and were grandparents of teenagers and still doing this. So they would then take a few of each of the cookies, and then somebody would have plastic wrap or whatever, and they'd wrap it up and then take it home. Probably would have made sense if they just brought Tupperware, one of those square Tupperware, but alas, they did not. So then you take it home, and then they'd spend a few hours. They would eat some cookies there maybe, and have I'm gonna say coffee and tea, but I am pretty sure that they had they were kind of a fun crowd, a very fun and very unique crowd. Not what you think of. My grandma was totally taught me to bake apple pie, and baked apple pie with me as a kid, and I still have her crust cutter. And everything. And I mean, she was an amazing grandmother, but when she was with her friends and no children were around, she was a completely different person. She was a very fun, I don't know, it doesn't really surprise me that very different. I am much more similar to my grandparents, I think, than my parents. I feel like my parents were are this they don't really fit in that group there, which is kind of weird. But they're very I don't know, but so I am pretty sure that it is not just like coffee and tea. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was old fashions and such. And they'd sit around, and sometimes they'd have lunches and stuff. I think it was two. I think they had the cookie trading thing, and then I think they also had a Christmas lunch. But and they did so many fun things. Like, there were three of the ladies, my grandma and two others, and they had a birthday card. They bought this card years ago, and for like 20 years they would write something in it. How it managed to survive that long, I don't know. I mean, maybe somebody had to replace it along with the years, but they had an order, and then the first person would get it, and then they would like sign it and send it to the second person, who would then get it and sign it and send it to the third person, who would then mail it back to the first person on their birthday. So the same birthday card cycled through 3 people for 20 years. I think they spent more on postage than anything else. But start thinking about things like that. Are you going to do Christmas cards? I quit doing Christmas cards years ago because the postage is so ridiculous. And the cards are expensive and everything. And I mean, if that's your thing, so be it. But I mean, in today's day and age, do you really need to send an official Christmas card? Or, I mean, I see it online, like, and then you need to, I don't know. So start thinking about how you want to celebrate Christmas and still hold on to your frugal values and your family values. And you don't have to hold on to the traditions of the long past people. I mean, make your own traditions, because I feel like we don't need to follow in the ancestors long dead. We need to think about future generations and the children who have yet to be born when we are creating traditions. And we need to remember that those children who are yet to be born may not like our traditions and may change them again. So start thinking about what you want to do for Christmas, and start talking to the people who you celebrate Christmas with, or Hanukkah, or whatever winter holiday. I mean, I know there's like, 30, 40, 50 of them, something like that, that people celebrate. In America, most of it's Christmas, and then some also Hanukkah, but Christmas is just kind of the dominant one. And so I'm not meaning to be exclusive or anything. It's just, but start thinking about who you're going to celebrate those holidays with, how gift giving is going to go, cards, money, all of that. And like, really think about it, and then make those suggestions to your friends of things that you'd like to do. Because how affordable is it? I mean, think about it. A bag of flour, a bag of sugar, maybe some chocolate chips or extracts, some eggs, whatever. How many cookies can you make for $5? And then you could, go and trade with friends. So, well, maybe more than $5, because butter's expensive. But, this could be something you do, and you could even do it like with different groups. You could do it with like your friend group, your siblings. You could really create different traditions that focus on spending time together, and that quality time, and strengthening bonds and forming relationships, rather than things that cost you money. My sister, same sister who came up with the gift idea, told me uh, something absolutely brilliant. She's like, it doesn't matter what you buy my kid, because my kid's never going to love you or hate you based on what you do or don't buy them. Like, that's not the value that I'm raising my child with. And I think that's a really good value. I mean, I think it's something that she put into words and I never really thought about, but I think it's really, really positive. And, we should be thinking about, simplifying our lives and simplifying our holidays. Anyways, again, my name is Melissa, and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. If you want to hear more, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.